Hey, what's going on, everybody? Nev here, back with another priest video. And recently, one of my subscribers had asked me a couple of questions regarding disciplined priest, and I answered that question uh, down below in the comments. But I wanted to make a video to kind of follow up on some of the questions that they had, and hopefully, this answers those questions. Um, we're also going to run some keys, and we're going to run like a higher key, and then we're going to run like a 5 or 6 key, just so I can really talk about my thought process and everything. And then on the higher key, obviously, you can see how the things that I talked about in the lower key, how I use those things for the uh, for the hierarchy. Hope that makes sense. But recently, I got asked, "Is it super hard to pug as disc up to KSM level?" And I don't think it was super hard. I would say it was a bit challenging. Due to the fact that Holy Priest really just came out of nowhere, and whenever I sign up for groups now, they immediately think I'm playing Holy Priest. There's been times in the past where um, people have either asked me to switch to Holy, or they were kind of surprised that I was able to heal those specific dungeons as disc. So I wouldn't say it's hard, but it is a little bit more difficult. And if you tell people immediately that you might be playing disc, especially if you're pugging, then you might not get invited. Unfortunately, the next question I got: did you spam a lot of shadow mints? And no, I do not. Now there are times when you do have to spam shadow mints, just to make sure that a individual doesn't die. They're one of the biggest problems with discipline priests is the fact that they do not have great single target healing. They have great group healing, but single target healing is a bit lackluster. So that's really the only time that I really try and use Shadow Mend, or I may use like a defensive penance during that time. Next question was, how was the journey from 2 to 15s? Um, honestly, I just can't remember. I mean, it was all right. I did pug most of my keys. So I think I got KSM. I'm not sure if I got KSM. Yeah, I got KSM last patch too. So last patch was a little bit more difficult than this patch, just because gear and stuff like that. I already knew that the gear that I was targeting. Um, so the first time I got KSM, which is in 9.1 or whatever, it was a bit more hard because a I didn't really have an idea of what rings I needed to try and farm, or what trinkets I needed to farm. So this time around, it's been a lot easier. And then the last question was, will you try disc in season 4? And to answer that question, yes, I will. Typically, I always play the priest. It's one of those classes that I just can't seem to get away from. And it really looks like I'll be playing priest again in Dragonflight, because we got some pretty cool abilities, and I'm really looking forward to it. Um, so let's. I want to hop over here to sub creation real fast, and I wanted to show you guys um, the difference between discipline and um, holy, because a lot of people think that discipline just cannot run the higher keys, and it's simply untrue. As you can see right here, the highest key completed as disc is a 27, um, which is a pretty good key. I mean, that's pretty high. Now, you only have was it 1,600 people doing that. Where if you go to Holy Priest over here, the highest key completed was a 31, but you also have a lot more people running those keys. So um, if you want to give discipline a shot, I personally think it's a fun spec. The reason I play it mainly is because it's the most engaging healer in the game, in my opinion. Um, and I've been playing Disc since Legion, so I've always kind of been a big advocate for it. So let me let me pause the video here, and then I'm gonna try and get into a key. Actually, before that, let's go ahead and look over the talents, and I'll show you some of the gear and stuff that I'll be wearing. And then I usually switch gear. I usually switch to different pieces of gear depending on the key level. So in 15s and higher, I typically like to have more versatility on, where anything from like 2 to like the 15 range, a lot of haste, a lot of crit, anything that's gonna do some pretty big damage. So these are the talents that I typically run: Twist of Fate, Feather. I'll switch between Mindbender and Solace. Um, right now, I've just been running Mindbender, but either one of these is perfectly fine. The only big difference between these is that Mindbender is not going to hit as hard as Shadow Fiend, but you're going to have Mindbender up a lot more. So it's like a 1 minute cooldown. So every minute you have a button to press. Whereas with Shadow Fiend, you really have to think about when you're going to use that because it's a 3 minute cooldown. So you have to really pick your spots. And then we run Sins of the Many. If it's Grievous week, sometimes I'll run Shadow Covenant just to kind of help with Grievous. And then here lately, I've been running Divine Star. Divine Star does a lot of damage. So I've been running that instead of Purge the Wicked. It's a fire and forget type of spell, and it works extremely well. The nice thing about Divine Star is people do not have to have Atonement on them in order for you to heal them. So it's a quick heal that you can get out. And then Lenience, of course, the damage reduction by 3% when they have Atonement on them, that is absolutely huge. And then the reason I take Twist of Fate instead of Schism, Schism is probably the superior talent here, especially for DPS. But the reason I take Twist of Fate is just because it gives me a little buffer in case I do fall behind in healing, and it kind of helps with the single target healing as well. So those are the talents. I am running Mykonos. We're going to be running the Rapid Shadows conduit and then the Shining Radiance conduit. As usual, going to be carrying just pretty much a basic setup here. But let me pause the video, let me hop in a key, and then we will kind of go over the gameplay a little bit. All right, looks like we got our group. Got into a HOA, I think it's either a 4 or a 5. And we're going to fly over, and then after we fly over, I'll show you the the rings and my stats and all that stuff. I know some of you guys like that. Um, like I said, this is a 5, so I'm picking stuff in my from my gear that I just want as much damage as possible. I'm not really too concerned about how much healing I'll need to do. We're gonna summons everyone else. Okay. Looks like we have our group here. So there is a reason I picked this dungeon to do this on. Number one, this dungeon has on fortified weeks. The shards can be pretty difficult to heal. Um, so I thought it would be a good idea to kind of give you guys my assessment and how I deal with stuff like that. So for the gear, as you can see, I've got the 29% haste, 23% crit. Versatility is only 14%. I got really low mastery. I'm wearing a 272 DPS trinket here, and I'm wearing a 278 secret technique trinket. That's just because it's going to give me a ton of stats here in a second. And for my rings, I just pick high crit rings. Uh, Legendaries, of course, I'm using the penitent one, and it looks like about it. And of course, Unity. So let's see who's gonna give me some haste here. No, I don't want. I want haste. Okay, so this person is gonna give me some more haste. So now my haste is at 32%. All right. So all I'm doing is putting atonement on people. I'm gonna pie. That was my thing telling me to pie someone. Uh, and it looks like the tank there had the bleed. Gave him a defensive penance. We going a little slow, but it's all right. Gonna star, and now I'm just going to get atonement on everyone, and I'm just going to I'm gonna boom this pool. And we put our mind bender there because I think the tank was. Alright, the tank has the bleed. You can see the bleed right there. I just gave him a couple shadow mints just to help him out a little bit. Alright, so this is a boon pool. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get out all of our dots here. We're going to get atonement on everyone, and we're just gonna boon. And I needed to dispel that. Ooh, I got hit right there. My frames are a little bad, but that's all right. So you can see I had atonement on everyone. I'm gonna do it again. Just gonna give some shields. pretty easy. And my damage was not bad. 7.1k. And of course the healing is 9.7. So not that big of a deal, but ideally when you're playing Kyrian, every scary pull, so these shards, for instance, these are gonna be booms. So again, here we go. We're gonna boon again. I got it a spell. And then we're gonna boon. We're gonna definitely get out, and we're gonna put Atonement out. Oof. Again. We're gonna refresh our Atonement with the Radiance.
You will be forgotten.
And this shard is taking forever to die. Now we're just gonna DPS. Atonement again. Just with the penance, we didn't need to. We're gonna do this pool. So because we're gonna do this pool coming up, I could boon this pool, or I could just get shields on everyone. That'll be enough, and then star DPS. A pop fade right there to get rid of threat, because it looked like someone. I don't know if the tank did that. Tank might die. Yep. That was on whoever pulled that. Because the tank did not get rid of his bleed. Can't really do anything about that. And we keep pulling. I don't understand. That's another thing. When you get in these lower keys, people just make the dumbest mistakes. And I get it. Like, usually they don't cost a key or anything, but but occasionally you might run into people who complain that that they don't get invited to keys and everything, but yet they continue to make mistakes. So um, I got dispel. We're gonna just DPS here. Might put Atonement out a little bit, but not a lot. Tank has to bleed again.
Oh, there be no hiding from the eagle.
Can't really do anything for you, Tank. Just got Atonement out. I use Radiance a lot. I probably don't need to do that. I should be single targeting. And that's actually my fault. Shouldn't be doing that. I should be using Shield or Shadowman to get Atonement out on a single person. The tank here, okay. We're gonna. He combusted on this pack. Kind of would have waited for combustion, to be honest, but whatever. We'll do defensive penance. So we're gonna get our dots out. We're gonna put Mindbender out there. We're gonna get Atonement out on the tank again with the shield. I mean, he has some dots, or yeah, some dots. All right, we're pulling. I had to grip this guy in because he didn't understand the mechanics. So I wonder. I'm thinking here that someone may be from like a different country or something, because I'm getting like really bad FPS issues, and usually this only happens like if an OCE player is playing with this or something. So, um, I apologize about this, guys, but unfortunately, that was on the tank right there for pulling that Stoneborn. And I didn't boom because I thought we might. I thought we was gonna pull something else by accident, so I wanted to save boom, just for precaution. Um, Most of the time, um, I would have boomed on the boss there. So I have no mana. I'm just gonna get some mana because I don't know if the tank is even aware of how much mana I have or don't have. We're gonna dispel that.
Let me introduce you to me new brothers, Fang and Claw.
We're gonna shield that warrior there. And we just keep pulling everything. I don't think we might not need this guy, not sure. So we're just gonna do some damage. Mind blast, anything to do damage. Well, people are really apologetic in this group, though. I'm just gonna dispel that. And I was also talking about the person that commented on my video, and I was telling them that you need mouse over macros for to play discipline, and you really do. This spec would be really difficult to play without mouse overs. So as you can see, I'm just getting Atonement out on people, all mouse overs. That way we can keep the target um, as my DPS target, or as the enemy, and then I'm gonna go ahead and boom this just so this dies a lot faster.
Dust to dust. Odds take you.
The mage there did not dispel the curse. If you don't know, on this dungeon right here, if you get that curse, if someone dispels you, you can move so you don't never get hit with the slam. It's not that big of a deal in a key like this, but in a higher key, that will probably kill you to get hit with this. So you can see, how much damage. I mean, it just does a ton of damage. Uh, get a single atonement out. And then we're going to mind sear this group. The tank just pop blast in. So that's good. Make sure we get out of our dots. And I'm going to give everyone atonement right away. And dispel. And just going to go back to DPS. All we're doing is mind searing. And we're trying to do as much AoE damage as possible. It just looks absolutely pathetic on the meters because just don't do enough damage.
Your penance is at hand.
And we just
Their pain shall enlighten you.
we're just sitting there like
You must face your punishment.
a lot of wasted time.
Their pain shall enlighten you.
Also, if you're the tank on this fight, don't just stand in the middle if you have a melee in your group. Go buy these canisters right here so the melee never has to move.
Their pain
You
shall
want as much
enlighten
uptime on the boss as possible, and if melee, the melee has to move, he has to get behind there, he's losing a crap ton of
you. You
DPS.
must face your punishment.
When
My cry
if you would have tanked on the canisters, the melee never has to get off the boss. Now, obviously, in a key like this, it doesn't really matter, but you know, the higher that you go, um, everything matters. And I mean, we're not really killing all this stuff. Um, I'm just gonna start dotting stuff up. Um, poor mage here is getting, well, mage is just LOSing me, so I have. So either the tank is brand new, or I don't know what's kind of going on, but we need to be DPSing this stuff down.
This is why they call me invincible.
We need to be doing as much damage as possible to everything. And I'm gonna defensive penance the that warrior right there. That was a lot of wasted time. I am not giving that person no. I'll save it for the mage. I was gonna give them pie, but no, their DPS is pretty bad. It'd be, in my opinion, it's a waste.
I tire of your boorish presence. It seems I must deal with you myself. Be gone, rabble!
Here we go.
You have not
So one of the abilities that you had not seen me use is barrier, and lust. um,
The anima overflows.
but I'm gonna use barrier right here. It's not really doing nothing. I mean, the damage is just we aren't really the damage isn't bad.
I have anima to spare.
So I'm gonna get over here. We're gonna try to soak. We're trying to soak two. And we're gonna boon. Just Nova Nova Blast pattern.
Feel the weight.
Um, we be nice. We say GG. But as you can see, I mean, there's just not. There wasn't really a lot of damage going on through the dungeon except the tank getting hit with a couple of the dots. But pretty easy, pretty simple. And we're gonna use that same that same mindset, that same concept as we go into higher and higher keys. Now, obviously, there was a couple buttons I did not use. I did not use Rapture one time. Just didn't need it. But typically, I would use Rapture, Bubble, and Boon. Those are my big cooldowns. So if I need to go from one pack to the next pack with a big cooldown, that's how I typically would do it. I would use Boon first, simply because to get that cooldown rolling, and then I would use Rapture on the next one, and then like a Mindbender with Rapture or a Mindbender with Bubble, just something like that. But as you can see, um, you do have to rotate your cooldowns pretty frequent as disc. That's one thing I do like. There are certain times when I'm playing Holy Priest that I feel like I just don't need to use all of my buttons. Where with Discipline, um, I'm using almost everything, every single dungeon, multiple times in the dungeon. Um, so to me, it's a little bit more. It's a more engaging spec. Um, but enough of the talk. Let's. I'm gonna pause the video and I'm gonna get into a 15 key, and then we can really see how it plays out and everything. And I'll try to talk more through it as time goes on. All right. Well, got a couldn't find any 15 keys, so I got into a 16 Necrotic Wake. This is one of my favorite dungeons. For gear on this one, I'm running a tad bit more mastery than I normally would. I just want to see. I want to see if I wear a little bit more mastery, if I have some more healing than versatility. I know versatility is super good in hotkeys because of the damage reduction it does. However, there's been times when I feel like I just couldn't pump enough HPS out. So I put on a neck piece that gives me a little bit more mastery, and also gives me some crit. And for this key, I'm not wearing a DPS trinket. I'm wearing Unbound Changeling. So see if it makes a difference. I said what's up to the group. No one said anything. This guy needs to. Let the tank know that if the ring drops, so he's looking for this ring right here. If it drops for me, I'll give it, because I don't need it, and mine's better anyway because mine has a socket. So no, I guess I can't target them because they're alliance. That's so weird. Look, so even though you're in a party, if you're outside and someone's alliance, you can't target them. Isn't that strange? I can once I go into the dungeon, but you can't do it outside the dungeon, which is, I mean, you're in the same group, like you're in the same party. I don't get that. But it's, it's whatever. We're gonna do the whole the whole thing here. So this place can get kind of nasty. No, I don't want to burst. I don't want really. Tank is checking me out. I don't want more mastery. That's a lot of mastery. I want some more haste. Okay, there. I got my haste. 31%. I'm pretty happy. Zoo. Alright, so he has the wrong Soban. I was trying to be nice here and help summons back. I have a pretty fast load screen too, so um, it's nothing to zone in and out.
Five, four, three, two, one.
Alright, so some friendly banter. Um, Probably gonna have to give
Come here to be slaughtered as well. This temple was merely the first to fall. Soon
this is a boon pool.
all of Bastion will burn.
Can't go ham because it is bolstering this week. I'm gonna go ahead and rapture here just to give us some additional coverage. Looks like we got really solid damage too, so that's always good. And they're kicking. I like to see that. This guy's gonna take forever to kill. Alright, going to the stage.
Blightbone rip you apart! Something coming.
So you can do that now because the boss doesn't bolster anymore. So this boss used to bolster a lot when you did this pull, but they fixed that, so it's pretty nice. You can do one of those pulls and it's not too crazy. So what we're doing right now is pretty much just a basic damage rotation. Not really concerned about the tank or anything like that. I got Mindbender out, doing a little damage. Just keep Atonement on the tank.
Stitch flesh will be irked to know
All of our DPSs is
his
like
prize creation.
crazy high, so that's it's always good.
Would gladly take your limbs as repayment.
Alright, he said he's going big. Wait for aggro. Super smooth.
Face me, necromancer.
Super smooth.
Thanatos will be
The tank is going to turn these around. That's very good. We like to see that.
Share your underling's fate.
Because if one of these guys hits a DPS, they're probably going to fall over.
Your temple lies in ruin. Your brethren are butchered. You have already lost.
Now, I'm tempted to boon here, but I'm not going to. And that's because we probably need it for the next pull. So we are going to boom this pull, and I'm going to first. I'm gonna. Alright, this tank is going big. Oh shoot, that's alright. We can. We're gonna rapture it. And really, we haven't done a lot of healing at all during this whole entire thing. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Like, for real? Come on. Dude, where? Like, alright. This was a small hiccup. We were killing this dungeon, though. That's sad. I couldn't even get over.
You will be brought to justice! You dare deny me the sky? Then I shall answer in kind!
Foolish paragon! There is nothing you can do to stop us.
That was a pretty solid boon.
No. Yet more bodies to harvest. Now Thor will be pleased.
That's all right. We're making good stride. Couple mistakes, but gonna wait for that quaking to go away. I recommend everyone getting a quaking weak aura. Mine's right here. I can just see when quaking's gonna go off, or has the chance of going off. I'm gonna paint up the tank there, just to give him some extra DR. But we're good. We're alright.
My minions are endless. My soldiers rise once more.
And I'm gonna go ahead and boon.
Wither and decay.
Honestly, we probably don't even need it. Don't need the healing aspect of boon, but the damage is always good. And because I'm running a little bit more mastery, my damage is not as high.
My soldiers rise once more.
And we got boon again. And we're gonna go ahead and pop it here again.
arrival proved timely, yet the battle rages on. We cannot rest until these invaders are purged from our skies. I will lead the effort here, while my disciples bring you to the necropolis. Let us end this atrocity.
Corpses we need, Stitch Flesh. Prepare to strike at the next temple.
Just
Okay.
a moment longer. It seems that the parts for my new creation have arrived at last.
I would like Boone to be back, but and that's white.
I have many wares.
Alright, so all we're doing here is mind searing. I might be able to take that for our mage there. And this is 100% a boon pool. I'll have Boone here in 10 seconds. Again, this tank is probably going to get smashed into pieces here in a minute. I'm going to give him a pain sup. I'm just going to spam shields on him. Right here, all we have is Boone. And we're just gonna get some atonements on people. And honestly, just DPS a little bit. Nothing scary on this pack except the collector, and the collector's already dead. Same thing, collector, or the creation, I believe, is the dangerous mob here.
my assistance. These raw materials are in
Is
need
there
of
work to be
processing.
done?
Now, I like to stand back on this, and I don't even care. It ain't gonna kill me. I just gave myself a shield. But what I was saying is, I personally like to stand back. Oh my god. I'm just gonna stand here.
Incompetent oafs. Gorgrind, try not to damage those limbs whilst you tear them off.
Alright. We're just gonna do DPS. What DPS we do? do. Uh. Yeah. Like.
How vexing! Rotspew, get to work and don't fail me like your predecessor!
We're gonna go in for the boon here. And I popped the defensive there. Pretty much had to.
No! Now I have to rebuild those two from scratch! It seems I must take that way to put your corpse to use. I'll have you in stitches!
They are gonna get for me.
I must preserve your parts for later. Imbecile! I'm the one who made you! Live, yes, but brimming with arcane energy. Ooh, oh, wow. Have you no respect for craftsmanship? My constructs can handle you on their own. I'll have you in
We're doing really good on
stitches.
DPS still.
I must preserve your parts for later. Imbecile! I'm the one who made you! My greatest was yet to come.
Destruction shall be laid to waste.
And for this boss, I like to just hang back a little bit.
None can escape the storm.
Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. I screwed that up. I didn't even see it go off.
Had enough of you. None can escape the storm. You were a fool to face
Can't,
me.
can't really do anything about that.
None can escape a fleeting victory against a fraction of our force.
Burst Mastery Wrist with the socket. Wow. That might be pretty good for Holy, actually. I'm going to keep those. Well, I said GG's. Here in a second, we'll go over the stats of the dungeon and all that. I know that key wasn't super exciting. We kind of ran through it, but that group was pretty good. Pretty pleased with even though we kind of screwed up there. Not bad at all. So we'll look at the damage. Looks like a warrior there is just a monster. 277. Just really good DPS. Check out mine. Chorus Penance, Divine Star. Divine Star does a crap ton of damage. And if I were to award my DPS trinket, it would have been on this list too, but since I didn't, it's not on this list. But yeah, you can kind of see my DPS. Not great. Only 3.3k, but I was running more of a healing setup. And then for healing wise, Atonement, my critical on Atonement, and then Radiance, Shield, Shadow Man did a little bit, and then Divine Star. So, and I got a lot of Leech, so my Leech is on there, and yeah, not bad. Well, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below, and I will get back to you. Also, if you do like the channel, please hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. It does help out the channel a little bit. If you didn't like this video, feel free to hit the thumbs down button. It doesn't hurt my feelings any. But until next time, I want you guys to take care, be safe, and peace.